going to be our 30th anniversary in 2019. We built 42 homes in Hampshire and Franklin counties. But tonight's forum, we're going to be focusing on how to build a movement to design, build, finance, and regulate just big enough homes so that we can right-size that dream of home ownership for people who are low income in Hampshire and Franklin counties. We're going to be focusing in that local way. In the Pioneer Valley, about 60% of households have only 1 or 2 people in them. They don't need a 3 or 4 bedroom house that they can't afford. Upwards of 50% of renters and 33% of homeowners in the Pioneer Valley are cost burdened. You heard Krista saying spending more than 50% of her income on rent sometimes. There's a lot of other people in that situation. These trends point to a big need for small housing. And we need not just small home ownership. We need all types of housing. No one should have to live in substandard housing. We need people to build apartments. We need transitional housing for the homeless. We need home housing for those who are dealing with addiction, refugees. We need people who are willing to address all those issues. But tonight we're narrowing that discussion to the needs of affordable housing to one area, to home ownership in Hampshire and Franklin counties. And more specifically, how we could use the creation of more small homes as a tool to achieve that. If, like Krista, you want to own a home, you want to move beyond home ownership, if you're ready for that stability and self-reliance, is there a home that you can afford? If you wanted to live in Northampton, and we're looking at a home in the medium price range of about $275,000, you would need to be making about $87,000 a year to afford that. But someone earning the minimum wage in Massachusetts of $11 an hour earns about $22,000 a year. A far cry from an affordable home in this neighborhood. A typical Habitat owner earns between that, sometimes more, the $30,000 to $40,000 a year, but they can still only afford about $750 to $1,000 a month for housing. So what can that minimum wage full-time worker afford to buy? There's a lot of variables when you look at home ownership: taxes, insurance, the interest rate on your mortgage. But we kind of did a ballpark number and said about $50,000. That's the most house you can buy if you're a full-time minimum wage worker in Massachusetts. So are there any $50,000 houses? All right, you all laughed, so I think that tells us something. I mean, if you start really looking hard, you might be able to find some fixer-uppers, especially in the more rural areas, in that $50,000 to $100,000. But if you're low income, you're not going to have the capital then to do the fixing up that's necessary, or able to get the financing to do so. A mobile or manufactured house might cost in the $50,000 to $100,000 range, but many of our local communities have essentially zoned them out, so you can't put a manufactured home in many places. What about tiny houses? What about those tiny houses on wheels that people go build themselves? They're often considered recreational vehicles by building codes, so you can't live in them year-round in most communities in Western Massachusetts. Advocates are working to change some of those rules, but right now, and I think you can go talk to Katie about that, but one of the things that it's not something that right now you can get a standard mortgage and live year-round. What about so we're kind of asking the question, if these aren't the solutions, what about a small house on a foundation, maybe on a small lot of land? What can we do to make that affordable for a low-income person dreaming of a home of their own? So we spent about a year researching this. Some of you were in this room brainstorming with us. I think one of these pictures might even be from here. But we wrote a 58-page report. There's at least one copy on each of your tables. There's also a PDF you can download from our website, and that summarized some of that research we did, and we really encourage you to dive into that. So we did this research phase, but now we're really trying to dive in and say, how are we going to make this real? So let's talk a little bit about how we can get the power of the community to make this sort of idea of small homes real. Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity, we're building some houses, because that's what we're good at doing. With the help of our volunteers, we're piloting some of the ideas that we researched. We have 3 pilot homes currently under construction, and they're looking at 7 different areas and strategies for innovation. And those are building with a smaller footprint, making sure that we find ways to lower the sales price through reducing construction costs. We're looking at some innovative financing, partnering with East Hampton Savings Bank and Greenfield Cooperative Bank. We're building on a small lot. We're looking at alternative land ownership structures, how we can build homes that are zero net energy, like Krista was talking about, that not having a utility bill is huge to affordability. And we're looking also at trying out modular construction. So the first one of these projects is up on Garfield Avenue. That's going to be Dennis's house. And it's a 650 square foot, 1-bedroom home. You can see Dennis and his mom right there, and the house under construction. It was designed by Jones Whitsett Architects, and we're hoping to get the construction cost of the house itself as close to $50,000 as possible, but there's also costs to the land and the utility and infrastructure. We'll let you know how that turns out. We're also partnering with a modular company in Vermont. And honestly, this one hasn't been as low cost. You'll notice on your agenda, we kind of put a little brief profile of these projects. These homes are 1,200 square foot, 3 bedrooms. And we're going to stick build on site a 3rd house that looks just like the modular units. So we have a little natural experiment about comparing modular construction to volunteer-built construction. We'll share those lessons learned as well. There's also another pilot site that is not under construction, it is still in the visionary stage, and this is out on Burt's Pit Road here in Northampton. The city did a design competition over the winter, which was really exciting. There was a large number of architects that entered. Simple City Studios won the design competition. And Brian is here from that architectural firm. And I think that Mark brought some pictures. You can also go to the City of Northampton's website and download all of them and look at them in great detail. So those are the places that Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity is piloting, the small homes. But this idea of a small home revolution is a lot more than just us. If it's just us piloting homes, then the impact is not as great as if we can involve you in bringing this out into the larger community. We are hoping to engage you in discussion. We have a Facebook group that is open for everyone to join, to have, oh, I just saw this article, there's this great project over here, sharing lessons learned, asking questions. And we've posted all of our research online, and after we finish these pilot projects, we'll be able to share on our website and through other events like this information about those pilot projects. So if we keep going, I want to dig a little bit deeper before we move on to more discussion. So, because the first thing that people ask about is construction costs. If we really want to make this dream of homeownership real for low-income people, we have to talk about construction costs. Wood costs vary from month to month, not just year to year, depending on markets. And we looked up the average price for a new home construction in 2017, according to Home Advisor, you know, gotta look somewhere, was $287,000. That's not even affordable for someone earning $60,000 a year, let alone that person earning a living wage of $15 an hour. But the cost of building a house isn't just the structure, it's also the land, the site work, the foundation, the utility costs, the permitting costs, the cost to have experts, architects, and engineers involved. When we were researching, you know, we'd heard about this cool project in Alabama that was building a $20,000 house, and we thought, could we do a $50,000 house in New England? And the answer is, well, maybe if you just talk about the house itself, but if we want to talk about $50,000 affordability, we're going to have to talk about more than just the construction of the house. We're going to have to talk about ways for the community to support those other aspects. We did find some projects that were able to get that construction costs close to 50,000, and we wrote up some case studies on them. There's this 423 square foot house. There's an accessory dwelling built for around 65,000. That was from Noble Home. It was a kit home put together by a local contractor. This was a 400 square foot accessory dwelling that was built for about 53,000 at Brattleboro. Then we had this modular home that was done for a little bit more, about 111,000, but it had all the bells and whistles of energy efficiency and high-tech equipment. You know, our conclusion was that we really have to think beyond just reducing construction costs. That has to be a critical part, but we also have to go beyond that. We need to look at the social, the cultural, the zoning, design, and the financing. So the other big bucket after our construction costs are our land costs. And one of the biggest factors that affects land costs is how we zone in our communities. So if you are in a rural community that needs an acre or two of land, it's inherently going to cost more because they're not making more land. Or if you're in a highly desirable community, land becomes more valuable as well when you have housing pressures like in Amherst with the large student population. Looking at strategies for doing things like decreasing the minimum lot size required, encouraging accessory dwellings. Some of those case studies that I mentioned were accessory dwellings, meaning they're houses built in the backyard of another house. So you already have one piece of land if there's enough room, and you can do another one, but only if the zoning lets you. Clustering or doing open space development or shared ownership, community land trusts are another way to have look at balancing that need for community control of land and housing.